Hello, viewers at home. I'm your host, Dr. T.I.
Hello, I'm Prof. TD, your co-host. Welcome to our Marriage Lockdown Corner. We'd like to take this opportunity to say a hearty thank you. Thank you to all of you who have been following us, liking, sharing, and even subscribing. You are making it possible that we continue with this Lockdown Corner. And indeed, we have been enriched by the conversation that we had in the past, and we hope that today's conversation will also be as enriching.
And we would like to take this opportunity again to welcome our first viewers. You are most welcome. Last time we spoke about the small foxes in our marriages, and today we'll continue to take the discussion further. We are going to talk about a ticking time bomb.
Yes, you need to diffuse a ticking time bomb in your marriage.
Do we have such in our marriages?
Yes, we do.
So how can we identify a ticking time bomb in our marriage?
When we talk about a ticking time bomb in marriages, we're talking about issues that have been swept under the carpet, issues that have been existing for longer periods, which can cause damage whenever they can pop up at any given time. So those issues are issues that can easily destroy your marriage. Once it pops up, boom, and then you are no longer able to arrest it, you are no longer able to deal with it and try and find solutions to it. And when we talk about ticking time bombs in our marriages, we have identified 5 issues that which we want to address in this episode.
And before we continue with these 5 points which we are going to engage on around the time ticking bomb, let's alert our viewers that some of these issues, they might have emerged even before people got married.
Exactly. You see, the difficulty with love issues is that when you have fallen in love, you tend to ignore and undermine everything in the name of love.
Yeah.
And that is why even if people can try and alert you to say, hey, there's a danger there, you are going to get married to somebody who is not compatible to you. You will not dare to listen. You will always want to ignore them, because love is so much that you are not able to, look at the defects of the other in the process. So that's the most difficult challenge that a lot of people are faced with.
So what is the first time ticking bomb which we can identify?
The first one that we can deal with is the issue of misconception. The issue of misconception is all about expectations that are not met. Because the two of us, when we get married, we all had expectations about this marriage. We all had our own dreams, our own aspirations,
Right.
what we want to see happening and what we want to achieve through this institution. And you see, now, when you look at men, when they get married, one of the expectation, one of the misconception is that women will always remain the same. They will not change. So I meet a woman on makeup, looking very beautiful, gorgeous, fall in love with her.
Right.
And that's the image that I want to keep. That's the image that I want to see moving forward. Like I've proposed to somebody that I want to keep in my cabinet. Some people get married to people who are slender, for instance, and later, boom, they change. So that was not your expectation because you were marrying a person based on their figure. You were marrying a person based on their beauty. You were marrying a person based on their education. You were marrying a person based on certain conditions. And men are tuned in such a way that they don't want to see change. They want to retain the person that they fell in love with. Whilst on the other side, with women, a woman can fall in love with somebody that people are saying this one is a reject. This one, for instance, is a total drunkard. This one is somebody who changes women like nobody's business. And you see a woman falling in love with such a person with the hope that the person will change. So and when they don't change, they get hurt. They get hurt and forget that even when they got married to this person was just like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that has changed with this person. If this person was a womanizer, you fell in love with him as a womanizer. If he was a drunkard, you fell in love with him as a drunkard. If he was a cheater, if he was... So you fell in love with this person knowingly, but with the hope that this person will change. And this person, when they don't change, that's when we say you are sitting on a time bomb, a ticking one, which is just waiting to one day explode. It just need one trigger, and then it explodes. And then the second issue that which we need to identify as a ticking bomb, time bomb in our marriages is the tongue issue. There are people with what we call or who suffer from destructive tongue syndrome.
Yeah.
You see, these people are people who never calculate what they say. They just say things and without really calculating the kind of damage.
As they are.
Yes. Like, I can easily say, look, I don't know why I married you. I said it. I don't know why I married you. So I've said it. That means you will live the rest of your life, worried. What does it mean? What is he saying? Is he saying I'm not good enough for him? Or, you see, other people will be quick to say things. Say you are angry. Boom. You start to say things that tomorrow, when you are sober and you are no longer angry, then you start to live to regret.
And the problem is one cannot swallow the words which were lashed out of anger.
Yes. That's unfortunate. Once you have said it, it's gone.
It's gone.
What is left is to try and diffuse that ticking time bomb. Because those words get stuck with you.
Yeah.
You retain them. It's just a matter of time where you will start to remind each other of what you have said in the past. And that's where then the bomb is about to explode.
Okay, Prof, on this issue of a destructive tongue, some people might say, I do not want to hold grudges in my heart. So I felt that it will be good if I tell this person what I feel right now. Not knowing that the very same thing which I'm releasing from my heart are the very same things which are going to distract the other person. is going to stay within that person as a scar, which I will never be able to erase. And then how can we, I think we're going to talk about it later on, how can we deal with all these things. But how do we have now, right now, you know, at this time where people are in their houses, nowhere to go, you are there 24/7, 7 days a week, and then this person said these bad things, and now it's ringing in your head. What was he saying? What was he saying? How do you handle it now?
And that is why we are saying you need to calculate your words. Learn to calculate your words. Before you say things, process them first. And put yourself in the shoes of the other to say, if I say these things, what if the other person was the one saying them to me? How would I feel? And then you will be able to release the installment of words that you want to give to the other, knowing that you will be able to also handle it in a proper way. The third.
Oh, okay. Let me just interject, because when you are saying this, it takes me back to my inclusive education, wherein you need to understand your wife, you need to understand your husband. Who is this person I'm married to? Because there are people who are short-tempered. There are people who, you are going to talk about it, I know. There are people who bottle things. It's their nature. So you need to know your person. If he or she is this person who will lash out things now, you need to know, oh, okay, this is him now. Know how to handle it. Because if then now we say, he said those words and they're hurtful words, it's not the first time he might be saying, or she might be saying those words. But then the most important thing, know the person you are married to.
Yes, exactly. You need to. Because if you don't, you'll get hurt through anything that they will say. So irrespective of what we are saying to say, you need to calculate your words. You also need to know the kind of a person you are married to. Some people, it's easy for them to just throw words like, and later only to live to regret what they have said. Now let's go to the third issue, which is your short fuse syndrome. There are people who suffer from short fuse syndrome.
What is that?
When we talk about short fuse, we're talking about people who easily get angry. Short fuse. They get angry over small things. And in the process, once they are angry, then it ties with the second issue of just, destructive tongue, vomiting words, saying whatever they want to say, without even knowing that indeed they are destroying themselves, destroying their own marriages.
Yeah.
And when we come to the short fuse issue, you need to know that ordinarily people tend to bottle things, tend to keep things in their hearts. He said this, she said this, and instead of clearing the air, then you keep it to yourself. And when you keep it to yourself, the day somebody just says something which is similar to what you have in your heart, you have been bottling, then you are going to explode. And that's where the whole issue of a ticking time bomb comes in.
I think again the issue of a short fuse syndrome, it's not only destructive to the other person, it's also deadly to the person who is in that state. Because if one bottle things, somebody will be coming, dumping words, dumping things. And then the person who bottles is going to suffer most. It's fatal because at the end of the day, today I think the statistics said that we have the highest number of women who are suffering from high blood pressure, who are suffering from sugar diabetes, just because they bottle things up, they have a short fuse syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
You can suffer from stroke, you can suffer, you can die.
Yeah.
You can suffer from depression and all sorts of things, just because you have been bottling things. And therefore, it's critical that you are able to diffuse this ticking time bomb in your marriage.
Okay.
The fourth issue is around blame shifting. This is what we call Adam and Eve syndrome. Because right at the beginning, right at the first, when we talk the first marriage of Adam and Eve, you see this syndrome, boom, happening, where they start to blame each other. And ordinarily, people who blame one another, they are people who will always be looking for mistakes from their spouses, looking to criticize, looking not to provide solutions. They will never dare to provide a solution to whatever they are identifying as a mistake or a weakness on the side of the other. But they will be the first to blame. It's you. Say now, you find yourself, you are struggling in your marriage. You don't know how to move forward. People are stuck with this syndrome. Another one will be saying, no, it's you. And the other one is saying, no, but it's not me, it's you. Remember, it started here and it's you who started it. And this is a ticking bomb, which if couples don't diffuse the blame shifting syndrome, they will end up destroying their own marriages.
Yeah.
And the last one is the first fit syndrome. The first fit syndrome. These are people who today we are fighting. We have issues. We have, challenges. Immediately, you are fast to take this problem to people outside without really trying to resolve it internally. These are people who will quickly move out of the table. No, I'm leaving. I don't want to talk about this matter anymore. And immediately they disappear from the table. But they are also fast to find comfort somewhere else. Be it on the phone, starting to do flirting with others, or phoning somebody else, phoning your father, phoning your mother, phoning your colleague at work, phoning, starting to, you're too fast. Before you even resolve matters here at home, you're too quick. That's why we call it fast fit syndrome.
Okay, so this fast fit syndrome, when I look at it, it is also dangerous because let's say it's me. Something is not right in our family, in our relationship, and then I rushed even to my family. Remember last time we spoke about cutting the umbilical cord. I rushed to my family. I'm telling them everything bad about you, and normally because these are my people and they don't want me to be ahead in this relationship, normally they will sympathize with me even before understanding what the problem is. Because I think the first thing which people should do, if somebody will come to you and say, you know what, it's not going well in my relationship, this is what my wife is doing, this is what my husband is doing, please listen to this person with wise and wide open ears. What do I mean by wise and wide open ears? Ask the person, what did you do which is wrong? Because normally we tend to embrace this person and forget that maybe the person is telling the story which is not right. So attend to the person, because the reason why she ran to you or he ran to you is because the person is hating. And the very same person who is hating would like somebody who is sober. Sit down with the person. First attend to the person like a paramedic. That person needs your attention. Attend to the person first.
Yes. And in a way, send back the person to the table. Because they ran out of the table where they could have amicably resolved the matters.
Yeah.
And tell the person to say, well and good, you have spoken to me, you have calmed down, now it's your time to approach, to face your spouse, and try by all means to resolve the matter. If they need mediation, then assist, offer to become the one who will mediate between the two, so that then they will come back to the table and be able to deal with their own issues.
As usual, Prof, what could be the possible solution to these ticking time bombs?
The first issue that viewers can do is to identify those ticking time bombs in their marriages. Sit down and try to say, what are the issues that have potential to destroy us if they can explode any day? And once you have identified those, then you will be able to seek solutions to each one of them. Now, today we have identified five ticking time bombs in marriages, which is your misconception. And with regard to this is that you need to realize that when you get to a marriage life, you have arrived at reality. It's beyond that which we call love, that which we call courtship. It's now real life. And in real life, your wife will not always be putting on the makeup. And you have to come to terms with the fact that you have not married somebody that you want to display on your display cabinet. You want somebody who will be running around doing whatever they have to do to ensure that the family is running. The same applies to men. To say you have expected them to change, but your mission in your marriage is not about changing your man. It's about changing yourself and using the power to attract somebody to change and to live differently. And in that way, you will be able to win in this battle.
I think this kind of information, couples who are watching this channel, they can also share this information with those who are still outside, to say these misconceptions which you have about men, these misconceptions which you have about women, it's not like that. You will never change a person. And that is why most of us today, we live to regret. But I can say to you, hold on.
Yes.
Know how to live with that person.
Yes. Hold on. Learn to know their character. Learn to know the type of a person. You have already mentioned it.
Yeah.
The kind of a person that you are married to. And find a way to handle their character and to live with their character. And find a way to, without fighting, if you want them to see things differently, give them a vision of the other side. To say, look, if we do things differently, we might achieve different results.
Yeah.
And that's what is needed in marriages. With regard to the destructive tongue, I think we should just advise viewers at home to say, well, learn to keep quiet, learn to be silent and listen and absorb, and speak only when you are ready to speak. Once you have calculated the kind of words that you want to communicate with the other. And in that way, you will be able to know when and how to approach the other and say things. There are people who will say hurtful things, but the manner how they say them save the day. Because they were not sort of saying those things out of anger. A person could easily pick that this message is coming out of somebody who really loves me and who want to resolve things and move on. So in that way, if you calculate your words, then we can move. And with regard to the short fuse, we can only suggest the anger management issue. To say we need anger management. How best do you manage yourself when you are angry? And in our next 2 episodes, one of it will focus directly on this issue in terms of how do we do anger management in the family context. And then the issue of blame shifting. Before you point a finger to your spouse, first ask yourself, what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do so that we find ourselves in this? If it's a mess, in this mess. And in that way, it will assist you to be able to stop blaming the other. And even when you go to the table, you will be able to provide solutions.
Yeah.
Not just identify the weakness, not just identify the mistake, but also be able to say, this is the way how we can come out of this situation. So in that way, we win together.
Right.
And then with the first fit, try as much to walk as slowly as you can. When you have differences with your spouse, don't rush to invite the outside world. Not even your children. Because sometimes people tend to fight and immediately you run to children and you want to show how we are fighting.
It's your family.
Or yes, and then you start blaming it's your mother. It's your mother is doing this thing, or your father is doing this thing, or you run to your in-laws, or you run to colleagues and so on. Learn to stay on the table, no matter how frustrating the conversation might be, no matter how hard you might find to convince your partner on issues. Stay and prolong your stay and stay prayerfully. And you'll go through, you'll get the answers to your problems.
And if maybe you were thinking of exiting your marriage right now because of these ticking time bombs which you have identified in your marriage, please sit down, attend to them.
Diffuse
Everything
them.
will be ease.
Diffuse them.
Right.
Diffuse them and stay. Stay and enjoy your marriage.
I think couples of today, they are very, very much fortunate because there are channels, there are people, there are churches or organizations which are trying their best to address marriage issues. And then I think it's very, very important for us, for you, for your friends, for any other person to use these resources. Because I'm trying to think about our great grandparents. Did they have things like this, like us today? No, they didn't. But you'll find that they will stay there. And if you try to look the way how they were treated, you will realize that something was happening which was not good. But these people, they stayed even though they did not have the knowledge we have today. As we are very much fortunate, we can sit around the table, we can agree that what you did to me, it was not good, I didn't like it, but then I want to address it. Please, let's sit down. So do the same. Don't run away.
Hence, we are saying, let the conversation continues. Diffuse and diffuse your ticking time bomb in your marriage. Thank you.
And it only happens when you open up,
Engage,
when you listen to one another,
enrich,
and be
enriched.
And please, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And even if you have comments, please don't shy away. Share with us so that we can share with other viewers next time. And until next time,
Shalom.
shalom.